Up? Welcome back to another episode with John and Jim. I'm Joe. We're going to break down a slew of information. We're going to talk about some Yankees, some Red Sox, free agency news updates. It's been going on with the teams, the big signings that have happened, huge news down in Houston, a lot of things unraveling there. That's going to be interesting to see what takes place with that. We're going to get into that. What does that mean for Deshaun Watson? What does that mean for his trade to the Jets potentially? Very interested in breaking that down. So we're going to kind of go through everything today because there's just too much to cover. So please, as always, hit that subscribe button. We've kind of gotten a little latency there in our growth. We've been stuck a little bit. So please, if you're watching this, hit that subscribe button. Join us every week in the chat specifically. Drop your thoughts on all these topics and let us know what you're thinking as well, because that's what makes this fun. Let's talk. We got to start off with this Deshaun Watson stuff since we're already in Texas.
Man,
this
what happened
here? Insane. This is absolutely insane.
Happened. Could you imagine if the Jets would have traded for him? I mean, not that I'm laughing. This is not a laughing matter about what he did. I know, Jim. Same here. I just want to make sure people realize what Jim and I are laughing at.
Yes.
But could you imagine if the Jets would have traded for him 2 weeks ago? Oh, yep. God.
That's the
I'm
Jets
surprised.
luck.
I'm surprised it didn't happen.
Right. Me too.
Me
too.
God. I hope to God it's not true. But nine people now? 9?
Is it up to 9?
It's up to 9.
I just read the article. It was 3.
No, it just hit my phone against. It and the NFL's reviewing it now too.
Wow,
9.
That's insane.
But is it what? Is it over the last month or over the last 17 years?
So the latest one was December of 2020 is the latest allegation. Okay. Yeah, and I think another one in January. So this is all pretty recent. Yeah. I hope to God it's not true. I hope it's not.
But I mean, when it gets to this number, it gets to be, maybe there's one or two that are kind of, but there's some truth to something, right?
Because
you're not gonna have this many with nothing.
The first 3 come out, and then it's like, okay, well, the next 6 are like, hold on, they're going to get paid? Or wait a minute, I'm not going to be targeted? Okay, so he did it to me too. Now, whether or not it's true, I don't know. I think everyone deserves the due process, but my goodness, there's a lot of evidence out there. I think that, I mean,
I think that's the problem is there's not a lot of evidence. It's a lot of hearsay. Like he asked me to do this or he manipulated me. Like outside of the only reason Robert Kraft got caught was because they were trying to do a human trafficking bust and had cameras in there to see what was going on, but that's not a normal thing in a massage parlor. So if he went in and said, hey, I'd like you to perform some extra services for me. And they're like, no, I'm not going to do that. That's about as much as you're going to have is one against the other. Right. So
supposedly there was text messages though too, where Deshaun Watson apologized for it.
Yeah. I saw there was like an Instagram thing, but is that, and there's going to be a lot that comes out. Like, did he just ask for it and she said no, and then he was like, "I'm sorry, I did that. I was wrong."
Right.
Is that worthy of a lawsuit if you ask somebody to perform something on you and she says no, I'm not interested in that? Oh, okay, like because if that's the case, if you go, but if you're in your younger days when you went to the bar, if you asked a girl to go home with you. And she's like, no, I don't want to do that. Are you going to be afraid you're going to get slapped with a lawsuit now? Because, he made made me uncomfortable by hitting it.
And are the girls underage or any? Is that part of the deal?
That hasn't come out at all.
So none of them are underage. Okay.
Yeah. From what everything said, it's just their masseuses and, he solicited some stuff.
Yeah. Oh, they're all masseuses? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Is that a word? Masseuses? Plural masseuses? Is that masseuses?
I think I made that up. I'm going to call Webster, see if we can add it to the dictionary.
When I said it, I thought, I don't know if that's
masseuses. Massagers? That doesn't sound professional. That sounds awful. Masseuses. Hey, you know what? For the show's purposes, it's masseuses.
Thank you. Thanks for clearing that up.
I like it.
But yeah, I mean, so there's something going on here, right? But
yeah, no doubt.
Is it enough? And on the other side, like if this turns into nothing, like is it still like for the Jets? How much would you have to give up now to get Deshaun Watson?
Because like this guy may never play again.
Well, yeah. So if you hire a private investigator, he can go in and say, "Hey, this is looking like it's probably not going to be anything." I'm sure Houston would really, really be open to taking that phone call now for a trade for Deshaun Watson. Is that if it turns into nothing, or like, hey, he owns up to it and says, yes, I did ask for this, and it was wrong of me, whatever, and that's the end of it. If he did like force women to perform certain acts on him, that's a whole different conversation. But if it comes down to, he was asking for it and they said no,
so yeah, I know
he's not getting 4 first rounds anymore.
Right.
So here's my take on it. So what would prove to Watson that the Texans truly want to keep him? Gotcha.
Wow. So anyway, look at the position the Texans are in now. So go ahead. Yeah.
Right. So say it comes out that he just asked. Say he was trying to solicit. Okay. Yep. He didn't force himself on anything. There's no sexual assault stuff, whatever. And then Houston says, you know what? We're not trading him. We're going to stand by our quarterback. We're going to help him through this. Man, what better to build a relationship than
to
repair. Yes, yeah. True. To repair a relationship than having your back when you're down. I mean, that's true friendship, right? Yeah. It's easy to be friends when everything's hunky-dory. It's not easy to be friends when bad things happen. You know what I mean? So are they going to turn their back, or are they going to say, you know what? We're going to help you through this, man. You know what? Let's keep going with this. And quite honestly, that would give Watson trust in the Texans organization again. He may not be happy with them, but he can say, you know what? If they stuck with me through this, man, I don't want to leave Houston,
Right. I wonder if he knew this was coming down. That's why he's like, I want to get out of town. I'm not playing here. I got to get out of here. I got to go. I got to go up to New England somewhere and get out of Texas before this thing, gets out of the box here. And but the other part is, I mean, that could be part of it. But the other thing for me is, now the Texans are going to have trouble moving him, right? So what do? If they say, okay, we got to stick with him, and then something does come out and he's ineligible to play, you got to know who's your quarterback.
Tyrod Taylor, baby.
Yeah, they signed him as a backup, right? Yeah,
yes.
Great.
Yes.
Right. But I mean, it's a weird spot for them to be in, and even for him to be in, because now you don't know what to do, right? Are people still going to call when this with this lingering, knowing there's a chance he may not play? Probably not. So now he's really stuck there, and he's going to hope that there isn't anything to it, but only he knows, right? He's the one that knows whether or not he's going down or not.
Yeah. Well, and Jim, to your point, what would a team offer right now?
Yeah.
You're not offering a 1. I'm not offering a number 2 pick.
You don't know what you're getting. There's got to be some contingency stuff in there.
That's what I mean. So, I mean, now if the Texans were truthful and they said that they haven't been fielding calls, we haven't had any internal discussions, well, now is not the time to have them, because now you're getting nothing for the guy. I won't say nothing, but I mean, it's what's your demands for a guy with now 9 people coming forward and the potential of, if he misses a year, banned for life. I mean, who knows what happens? That's right. It's going to take a while for all this to come out. But what are they going to do during the time between all these court cases happening and the start of the season?
Yeah.
Kind of like you said, okay, they got Tyrod Taylor. Honestly, I'd probably be looking at one of these free agent quarterbacks to bring in the event that he's gone. And that's just sad, man. God, I hope it's not true. I love that guy. Love him.
Like Alex is saying, though, if the lawyer's saying he has proof, the lawyer, you doubt he's just going to make that up, right? He's not going to risk his ability to practice again, right?
But a lawyer's proof is a text message. A lawyer's proof could be a text message, him saying sorry, and he's going to twist it into 47 different ways, know.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Just enough to show that there was
shadow of a doubt,
something there.
Yeah.
So, and that's Alex. That's a good point. Like, I wonder if they if they knew this was coming and grabbed Tyrod Taylor as a backup there in case if they lose out on him for the rest of the season because of this, because you know how the NFL likes to err on the side of caution, right? Yeah. So they will suspend him before they have any idea of what actually happened. Like we saw it with Ray Rice. You saw it with Aaron Hernandez, went real quick before anything. Who else? The whole Michael Vick thing, like, which granted he was guilty of that, but I mean instantly, like once the chatter started, it was pulled get you out of here, and
you're out, ineligible.
So, right. So that wouldn't be. I would not be surprised if by next week that we hear he's suspended indefinitely.
Right. I mean, look at Domingo from Herman from the Yankees. Right. He hit a female, so maybe it comes out that Watson hit somebody or put his hands on somebody. Boom, he's out for the year. Right, maybe longer, and then now you need a backup to Taylor, or maybe a starter. Who knows? But it's we'll see in the next couple of weeks where it goes.
Yeah, well, I think the most damning thing is I read the article on ESPN about it, that he basically was he was laying there on his stomach with like a little towel on it over his backside, flipped over, and then kind of forced her to do it.
Oh, really?
And there was a quote like, "I can either help your career or hurt your career," or something like that. And she said she felt like if she didn't do it, that there was going to be repercussions because of who he was. So she did it against her will. So if that comes out to be true,
that'd be a crime.
I didn't hear that.
I didn't hear that either. Yeah,
it's in that. If you read the ESPN article, it's in that article. So if that comes out to be true, he's done. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So real quick to some of these comments too. You're right. The AFC South is licking their chops because they won 4 games with them last year. Tyrod Taylor, they'll have to the first pick in the draft. Sorry. It's just that won't even be it's not like they're signing big names. They're signing a lot of 1 year, $2 million contracts to a lot of kind of middle of the road players. Tight ends. So, that's a good point, Mark. Mark's a huge Buffalo fan too, by the way, for people that don't know. So I think Philly hurt Zach Ertz a lot by not trading him earlier. You've seen Jared Cook. He signed with the Chargers today, giving Herbert a huge target. Hunter Henry's good, but I'm sorry, man. Jared Cook's a man amongst men out there. He really is. So huge target for him. Like someone said there, why not Detroit? You know what I mean? Why not put him with Wentz? It seemed like them two had a pretty good relationship there. And no, I'm sorry, Indy. Set him up with Wentz with Indy and go from there. The Giants signed Kyle Rudolph, so all these guys are coming off the board, and probably Zach Ertz. He got hurt, but man, that guy's been money for a long time. So, but I like
that's the risk you're taking. Is he going to bounce back? He's getting older. And we've seen tight ends
for him. I wouldn't give up a lot for him. But
tight ends decline quickly.
Yeah, they do. They do.
You look at Jimmy Graham. He was one of the most dominant forces in football in the Saints, and then just like off a cliff almost. He had a couple games here and there during a season, but man, he was like Michael Thomas down there. He was Travis Kelce type of tight end. Just the impact was huge. And Ertz was the same way. 4 years ago, he was one of the premier guy. Him and Gronk were like 1 and 2 in the tight end conversation. And now look at him. They fall off so quickly. He's got a pretty good contract still too, right? So
he would definitely have to restructure it a lot. And Mark, I see you wrote Ertz and Allen. It's funny, Buffalo pretty much offered Gronk the same contract that Tampa did, but he was going to go back to Tampa with Brady. But Ertz to Buffalo, that wouldn't be a bad thing because he doesn't have to be one of your top 2 receivers. A 45 catch year would actually be pretty good complement between Beasley and Diggs too there. So.
But do they utilize the tight end that much in Buffalo?
Well, they were going after Gronk. You know what I mean? They were going after Gronk, so maybe they wanted to. I don't know if they wanted Gronk as a blocker. Ertz isn't the best blocking tight end. He's more of a receiving tight end. But I mean, in Buffalo, I mean, why not? I mean, that team's solid. Front and back. I mean, why not put him on there? I would restructure his contract though. I wouldn't pay him whatever it is, $14 million or whatever he's owed this year. That'd be insane.
Oh yeah,
Jim, how do you feel? I wanted to ask you, how do you feel about Kyle Rudolph joining the G-Men?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, the Giants have been making moves almost daily since since it went live with free agency. Yeah. But yeah, Rudolph is a nice pickup. I mean, he's got a better catch percentage than Ingram does by almost 10 points. And there's been some talk about packaging Ingram in some kind of deal. I don't think they'll do that. I think we'll go with 2 tight ends and go forward. No, but it's nice to see we got a veteran in here and somebody we can utilize right off the bat, and hopefully he stays healthy. But no, he's been dependable and 31 years old, but big guy and should do well. Yeah, I'm excited about it. I was thinking about bringing Ertz in too, because Ertz has been solid for Philly, and I couldn't stand playing against him for years. But we'll see where he ends up.
Yeah, I just seen the Joe Judge thing with the Ingram and what's his face there, the other tight end that they just signed. Jesus, we're just talking about him. I keep reading about Ertz and
Rudolph.
Knox over there. Rudolph. I mean, Rudolph. I wanted the Patriots to go after him, to be quite honest.
I know you were saying it. Yeah.
I like Kyle Rudolph a lot. So
you guys made out there. You got the much better end of the stick on the tight end side.
On paper, yes. We'll see how everything turns out.
Mm-hmm.
Free agents are just that. We're teams take a big risk signing a lot of players, but I mean, we got the 2 best available. I think. I don't think Kyle Rudolph was the best available, but man, what a solid tight end though. Again,
maybe mentor Ingram a little bit too.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Dina's still in here, but you said you saw the Will Fuller to Miami a little while ago, right?
I did, yes.
That's going to be him, Devontae Parker, and Stills, right? I mean, speed.
No, Stills is on. Isn't Stills
Stills went to
Houston.
Texans. Who's Houston. The third? Who am I forgetting? Parker now.
So it's still only Tua though. Tua's throwing it to him, right?
So Tua, and they got
no.
They got old Jacoby too.
Oh, that's right. They signed Jacoby.
So they signed Jacoby Brissett, and the how is Tua gonna be? I like Rudolph. I'm not saying Smith and Hunter isn't good, man.
Who cares?
Why do we argue about this? I'm just saying I like Rudolph. I wish they would have. I wanted them to sign him. Now I'm glad they didn't, because I mean, we have 2 of the best. But do we trust Tua now that his pinky's gone? Now that the gunslinger's gone?
I'm not buying it, but
exactly, Shane. Big if. I think huge if. I don't know. He reads slow, and man, this is why I don't want the Pats going after Mac Jones. Man, they sure look good at Bama, don't they? They sure look good at Bama. And the second they get to the pros, it just looks like it's in slow motion for him. It really does.
Yeah.
I like Tua too. Of course, he's a Bama guy. I love SEC football, but I think we'll be seeing a lot of Jacoby Brissett next year.
I mean, at this point, though, you have to fully commit to him. You can't keep doing this.
Of course.
In and out of games, put Fitzpatrick in to try and salvage a win here and there. Like, it's you're either all in with this kid or you're not. Like, you can't do this half and half.
Well, they've already said he's the starter. They've already said he's the starter. So
I don't think you could pull the plug on him unless he's hurt.
Well,
like this season has to be what do we got?
All right, roll the dice. Yep.
Or do they start 1-6? You know what I mean? Because if you start 1-6 with that team, but then if it's because of the quarterback play, you're not going to keep playing the quarterback. Well, you shouldn't.
But you kind of have to, because I mean, Brissett if you're 1-6, you're going to turn to Jacoby Brissett for what? To try and get you to 500 for the end of the year? Like, because you might as well ride it. Just ride it out and see if he could turn it around, right?
Yeah, but they didn't do that last year. I mean, they were still swapping out last year.
But they started off. Didn't they start off like 4-0 or something?
Yeah, but that's because Fitzmagic was quarterback.
Right. As soon as he came out, he never went back in, right?
Right. Yeah. And then they started splitting time.
Right. So, I can understand why they did that because they started off good. But if you start off terrible and you are 1-6, what's the point? Because Brissett's not going to win you a Super Bowl. No. Probably won't even win you a playoff game. So at that point, just let Tua run the season, and then you move on next year if there's no signs of improvement. But I mean, you got to expect him to struggle. I know he was hyped up way too much to begin with, and now he's got these shoes to fill that people are expecting him to come in and be. And Joe Burrow and Herbert didn't help him out at all. Hitting the ground running.
They did.
But I don't think Tua, and he's a Bama quarterback, like you said. Like those guys, he's going to need that adjustment, just like Justin Fields. He is going to need an adjustment period. You put Justin Fields in day one, he's going to get destroyed. Yeah. I don't think he's the Justin Herbert type that's going to be able to acclimate that quickly. He's going to get hit. He's going to get hit. He's going to have to learn how to read fast, and he's going to make a lot of mistakes trying to rush through his reads and throw right into coverage, I think. But I don't believe in Tua from watching him play. He had if they design plays to where he can roll and run and do some things, great. But if he's got to sit back in the pocket, I feel like you said, he's reading way too slow, and he's just playing bad when he has to read. When he could roll out and let some things open up in front of him and do some things, he's a dangerous weapon. We saw that in those games that he was successful. Otherwise,
so this brings a good question then for this brings a really good question for both of you. With the signings, not a bet, just you guys' opinion. So, Mark, I hope you're still on since you're a Buffalo fan. Yes, you are. This is perfect. So, do you guys see Miami progressing this year or degressing? And part two, to me, the Pats jump past Miami right now. It's Buffalo, New England right now. Do you guys see that, or do you still see Miami as the number 2 like they were last year? I know. So
now you're saying that. Now you're thinking Buffalo, New England, Miami, Jets. That's what we're talking now.
That's what we're talking. At least that's what I'm thinking.
Wow. I'm curious to hear fan thoughts on this one. Get a wider net.
Right. It's really hard to go against Jets being 4th when they have done nothing this week.
Agreed.
What are they doing?
Hey, you leave Corey Davis alone.
What is
maybe they're saving their money for next year, Jim, because you get to carry it over every year.
Right.
Right. Like I said, they're collecting interest. It's a lot of interest on $53 million.
They kept the seat warm. Look at this.
Shaney just said it, Mark. And Alex, Shaney just said it. Buffalo kept it warm for a year. Look out. Even with Cam, I'm telling you, this team is going to be sick.
There's no way that they leapfrog Buffalo.
Sick.
No way they leapfrog.
It's not going to be sick.
Buffalo.
Okay. Let's go back to my first question then. So do you think they leapfrog Miami right now?
Right now, I would say yeah. I think so. I think just all the moves they've made, and I don't trust Tua, and I don't trust the offensive line in Miami. I think he's going to get beat up left and right. And wow, a lot of comments flying in here. No, yeah, I would agree with that. But I don't see them winning. So, I think I could see Buffalo, New England 1-2. Go ahead, Joe.
I don't even know about that. So John, you're living my life for the last 10 years right now. You won free agency. The Jets have won free agency more years than they've won.
Wait, 50%. Hold on.
Think back over the last 10 years. The Jets have made big signings in free agency, right? I mean, just like Le'Veon Bell, Tremaine Johnson was supposed to be a huge play that was an absolute bust. That's what they've been doing. They've been trying to bring in big players.
Brett Favre.
Yeah, they've been trying and they have done very well on the names, right? But
okay,
you got to be careful with free agency because, like you said, you don't know how. Like when you brought in Chad Ochocinco, how did that work out? Huge name,
right? But
couldn't understand the offense.
The Patriots base is already there. That's kind of what I'm getting at. So the Jets base was never there. They were trying to get these free agents to be the base of the team. So the Patriots base, if you think about it, okay, Chung retired, which I hate. God, I love Patrick Chung. But anyways, so Chung retired, but we bring back Van Noy. We re-signed Wise. Never mind the other free agents on D. We get back Hightower. I mean, our linebacking core right now, back with Van Noy, holy shit, that's a sick linebacking core. Our D-backs, I still don't know if we're going to re-sign J.C. Jackson. They put a second-round tender on him, so we can match anything. So that means Bill's going to match anything that a team offers. That's what he's saying there. So, and we still have Gilmore. So honestly, our D is insane. Now our offense got a whole lot better. I don't know how they're going to gel, but we still won 7 games last year with a terrible offense. I even with Cam, and you guys know my thoughts on Cam. I hope he's not our starting quarterback. I hope he's not, because that means we brought somebody else in. But so if he is,
I was going to ask you that. Are they done at quarterback?
Are
they done? No. Who's left is the question.
So
Darnold?
Even Trubisky's gone.
So my thing is this, and this is why I think they filled every single need through free agency, every single need for him. And because they want to make a push. I know, I seen Sanders for $6 million. I get it. Sanders can't spread the field. That's the only thing I'm going to say. Sanders doesn't spread the field. Aguilar does. He just does. He had the third most receptions over like 30 yards last year, or whatever the hell it was, behind Devontae Adams and Tyreek Hill. So you want to put him 3 right there? Hey, that's what they paid him for, to stretch the left side of that field. But anyways, I'll get back to that on one of these other shows. But to me, if San Francisco gets something else at quarterback, which now with all this Watson stuff, you can almost guarantee San Fran's not trading Jimmy G just to trade him. Now, so who does that leave? One of these.
I didn't look at the list. What QBs are still out there unsigned? What free agents?
So free agents, I would say Bill isn't going to sign any of them. So I said before, it's going to be Jimmy G, maybe make a push for Darnold, maybe a 4th, but the Jets aren't going to trade him in division. There ain't no way in hell. So who do I see? What do I see him doing? The only thing I see, the only other person at least I see right now with the knowledge that we have, Vegas is trying to restructure Mariota's contract to get it down to $3 million. They don't want to pay him $11 million this year. If that doesn't happen, they're going to get rid of him. Could I see Mariota wearing a Patriots jersey? Would I be doing backflips about that? No. You start looking at his numbers, they're not bad. Would he be better than Cam? I think so. I truly do. I think he'd be better than Cam in New England because of his arm. Now, again, does that excite anybody? Not initially, no. I mean, not initially. Let's face it. He can't beat out Derek Carr.
Who would be the starter?
Quite honestly,
Cam or Mariota?
Bill loves Cam, man. I don't understand. It's like I was texting my buddy Chris earlier. I'm like, if everybody else can see that Cam can't throw the ball 30 yards, how does Belichick not see it? And he's a freaking mastermind. I think Mariota could too if he got the chance. I mean, I would like to see that because that's all that's out there. I wanted Deshaun Watson. You guys knew that. I wanted Watson. Yep. And the fact they only gave him $12 million, I say only, it was kind of an incentive-laden contract like they gave Cam. But, I mean, I don't know. I would have loved to seen Watson there. But I think the only other person is Marcus Mariota. You know, I don't see San Francisco trading Jimmy G and for nothing. They have to have a quarterback because, I mean, think about it. San Fran's probably, number 1 in the NFC West right now? I mean, are the Rams better than them? Yeah, maybe. They're close.
That's a
healthy San Francisco. Seattle, that's a tough division. You're not getting rid of Jimmy G. Yeah. For who? Mullins, whatever his name is, Nick Mullins, whatever this guy's name is, the backup that they're keeping. Nick
Mullins,
or CJ, whatever his name. Yeah, I just don't see it. Yeah,
right. You're not giving him away for nothing.
No, and for no reason. Now, if they were trading for Watson, okay, that one I could see because you're not going to pay $80 million in friggin' in quarterback money. But Alex, I guess we'll see about that. I'm still throwing San Fran 1 and the Rams 2, to be quite honest. San Fran has just got a much together team, especially all those guys. If they come back healthy in San Francisco,
as long as Seattle comes in last, I'm happy.
Yeah, they won't, but
this year,
that'll be Arizona.
So here's let me give you my argument against this. Okay, I think the Patriots will have a good defense, but I think you are all of Patriots Nation apparently is way overvaluing the wide receiver core that you signed. Like there's nothing there to get excited about. I mean, yes, it's an upgrade over what you had, but there's nothing there that's that great. Aguilar is not that great of a player. He had a pretty decent year, but it wasn't anything special. It didn't go over 1,000 yards, and he was supposed to be the number one. So I don't know. That was probably his best year last year, but his whole time in Philly, he was an absolute bust. So that's not great.
He got ran out of town in Philly. They couldn't stand it. He couldn't catch a ball for anything.
Yeah. And then who's the other guy you signed?
It was Jason Bourne.
Yeah, and he was like
San Francisco.
What was he? San Francisco's number 5?
3, but
so your new 1 and 2 got ran out of Philly and couldn't break the, couldn't beat out rookies for his for the number 1 spot. So I'm not that excited about that. I mean, Brandon Ayuk came in right out the gate, had a better season than him, and Deebo Samuel is just a better wide receiver as well than him. So
I agree.
Couldn't beat any of those out, but I mean, he had 667 yards and 2 touchdowns last year.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't have huge numbers. No, so you got huge numbers at all, but they're route runners. They're route runners. And with the Patriots offense, I mean, when did we win a Super Bowl with Randy Moss? We didn't. When did we win a Super Bowl with Deion Branch? We did. David Givens? We did. We've never had like big time superstar receivers. These are receivers that thrive in New England because they're route runners. Now, granted, we had Tom Brady at quarterback. So when you have a route runner and you have Tom Brady throwing it there, I get it. And that's what petrifies me about Cam.
Great. How am I supposed to make my closing argument?
Go ahead, make it, Joe.
No, I can't. You just stole it. I was about to say. You've got Tom Brady throwing to subpar talent. Like that's the difference. Like you could throw anybody with Tom Brady. I mean, look at little Scotty Miller.
Yeah,
awesome. Like he's going to go somewhere else, and nobody's ever going to hear from him again. Brady makes everybody around him better because he's a good quarterback, not a great quarterback because he didn't answer my freaking text message. But
he will. He will.
I don't think he will. I'm super mad at him. I told him to check out the show. So if he's watching this, waiting to respond, Tom, we're legit, man. Come on. Yeah. Talk about how much you hate the Jets for no reason and how much, John loves you. So
Tom, I got my Brady jersey sitting right next to me. If you come on, I'm wearing it. Just letting you know, Tom.
So you both reached out to him?
Of course I did.
Yeah.
I didn't know Joe. I knew you would.
Yeah.
I did. I
didn't know Joe did.
I tried.
He snapshotted too, I think, on the line.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. I tried to get him on, but he's not answering me, of course. So I guess I shouldn't have prefaced with I'm a Jets fan and this is killing me. But I thought maybe it'd be like a haha. Let's go see what this guy's got. No, apparently he doesn't have a sense of humor. So amongst other things, like an ability to drink alcohol. So
look at that. That's good.
They sure have, right? Haven't they, Alex? They sure have.
You would absolutely think Tom Brady would love the Jets, but he just
his
hates
favorite
them.
team. It's his favorite team.
I mean, he beat them what? So they played probably like 40 times, and I think the Patriots won 37.
Probably.
God, That's pathetic, Joe.
I know who Brady's least favorite team is.
Let's stop. I had a conversation with somebody today.
I think he's 1-2 against the Giants. I think
he is. This guy was wearing some Yankees gear, and I didn't even know who he was. I'm walking by him in work. I go, seriously, you wearing that shit here? And he goes, ha ha. He goes, I'm also a Giants fan. I go, so I kind of felt like Doc Holliday, and I was like, now I really hate him. You know what I mean?
Did you give him a business card? That's the guy you got to give a business card.
You know, I had him on my desk. I started chatting with him. I said, I'm going to come by tomorrow. I go, I hate you right now, and I'm always going to hate you because you're wearing a Yankee shirt, but you're fun to talk to. So let's chat, man. Let's chat.
Yeah, good. Yeah, start handing those cards out. So
I may see if he wants to come on for the Giants pick. I don't even know the guy.
Hey, let him come on.
Yeah, if he knows anything about the Giants, you gotta feel him out a little bit, see if he's a fair weather fan.
No, not at all. He started rattling off about Ingram, how he's underperformed. I'm like, oh boy, do I get somebody for you to meet? His name is Deep Pockets Jim.
I like it. No.
I just made up that nickname tonight. I'm a nickname maker.
No.
Oh God! All right. Well,
where are we?
I think. Free agency for the Jets has been super slow. So I don't have any real updates. I mean, we could talk about. Some of the big things like the. Some of the big signings that have taken place, the big guys come off the board. We do have Kenny Golladay down in New York visiting right now. Could potentially be signing with the G-men of all. Tonight. I wouldn't have guessed it. I don't know where Jacob's been. I haven't seen him in a long time.
Yeah, no.
And if he was here, I would have to give him props because he did say Golladay to the Giants.
Yeah,
he also said every other wide receiver to the Giants too. So, it's a balancing act.
He was right. He
was right.
He said the Giants are winning the Super Bowl too.
Yeah,
he has a lot of predictions. He's got a lot of predictions.
I like that.
But you know what? If you keep throwing darts, you're going to hit a bullseye eventually. So,
Keenan Cole, $5 million. I didn't even know he was still playing. Hey, Shannon, what league was he playing in last year? I'll tell you his response before he even writes it.
It was the Jaguars. They're their own league.
The Jets waiting on?
Yeah. I don't know. And the Juju stuff popped up earlier today that they were talking to him, and I was like, all right. Juju and Corey Davis with Crowder, like that's not a bad start right there. I would have loved that, but and then this Keenan Cole thing pops up, and I'm like, what? How did we go?
What happened?
Yeah, did your GPS tell you to make a right before you were supposed to? Because you guys ended up down a dark alley that I don't want to be venturing down. Like this is that's not what I had in mind at all.
Oh God. So here's the problem with the Jets, and I was telling somebody this today.
Oh, this is going to be a long list.
No, so when the Jets call to make an offer, and the agent says, "Who's your quarterback?" What are they saying? They can't say anything.
Right.
They can't.
Right.
So that's what I think killed the Jets, man. I think if the Jets would have came out and got rid of Darnold before free agency, traded him away, said we're going young, so that would have been a dead giveaway for Fields or what's his face there?
For Zach Wilson.
So right there, all these wide receivers are knowing that they're coming to play with a rookie. You know, we can help this young kid out. But Darnold's there, but he isn't. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I just don't get why they didn't take care of that before free agency, because now they're in limbo. Maybe these wide receivers don't want to even touch Darnold. I mean, Corey Davis did, but I mean, he got Aguilar money, which is they're probably pretty close to the same. Because why we had to overpay Joe? We talked about that before, but I just don't understand why the Jets didn't draw a line the same with Darnold well before free agency. Because I mean, there's way too much limbo, man. They made a mistake there, I think.
Oh, and you know, you're speaking of signing of wide receivers. The last show we talked about how Samuel was going to be overpaid, like how everybody wasn't that we thought people were not going to sleep on him. Like he was one of those under the radar guys, but everybody saw through it. He's making $3 million less than Corey Davis is on his contract. It's a 3-year 34 compared to a 3-year 37. I mean, I mean, I think we hit it right because Corey Davis was one of the top wide receivers coming out in free agency, and he got paid $3 million less. So nobody was sleeping on this at all.
Good night, Shani. Good night, Olivia. Sorry, Joe.
Yep. Good night.
Good luck, Shani.
Yep.
But yeah, you're right. And I mean, I think he may have took a little bit less money to go play with the guy who drafted him too. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was Rivera who drafted him. So
yeah, and the cool thing is, I didn't know this, but did you know him and McLaurin were roommates freshman year
in college? Yeah.
So they were that. I think that was.
They're turning into a scary little team, man.
They really
are. Now Fitz has been a career backup forever, so you know he's a gunslinger. He's going to put up numbers, but that defense now with a little bit of offense. We may see a totally different twist. We may see the NFC East this year that we thought we were going to see last year, to be quite honest.
Maybe.
You know? And I'll throw out one more name for New England. Maybe Alex Smith. I don't know. I don't know.
Wow.
It's a reach, I know.
Yep.
But
I don't think I would do that.
I don't think I would either, but who else is there?
Dwayne Haskins.
No, he's actually signed with Pittsburgh. I would have been okay.
Oh, that's right. That. I forgot.
I would have been okay with that. Shit. As bad as
that was a while ago. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yep. Yeah, he went a long time ago. Mm-hmm. And Carlos, sorry, I didn't answer your question earlier, but Trubisky signed with Buffalo.
Mm-hmm. Sure
which
did.
Is very, very surprising because for a starting quarterback to go somewhere where you're not playing is really weird. Like, why would you not go like the Saints? Maybe
that's the only offer he got. Maybe
Washington.
Well,
I mean,
look at the money Teddy made as a 1-year backup in New Orleans. He turned that into $17 million. Jameis Winston now he's going to get $12 million this year. You know he's turning it into a $10+ million contract. His agent probably said, "Look, take shit money. You already made a ton of money. You know, starting learn behind Allen. You get with a good organized team, not like Chicago where it always seems like Chicago's like Cincy and in Cleveland, which they just never have their shit together. You know what I mean?
Right. Almost, but not quite.
Almost, but not quite. Right. It's like you tag Robinson and don't sign him, but you offer Golladay a long-term contract. I heard that would piss me off if I'm Robinson.
I didn't hear that. That's interesting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You'd be like, hey guys,
Chicago went after Kenny Golladay and he said no. And I'm like, are you shitting me? You got Allen Robinson right then. You're not paying him? Are you kidding me?
Wow.
Wow.
But better yet, focus on a quarterback.
What are you talking about? The red rifle, man.
Right.
Andy Dalton and Nick Foles.
Yeah. Andy Dalton's so good. The Bengals cut him. So let's get excited about that. I mean, come on. He had a mediocre, slightly above average season last year, and he was throwing to some of the best wide receivers in football. And he had Ezekiel Elliott behind him, and he was still not explosive. Like, you look at what Dak did with those players, and then what Dalton did with those players. It's like that. This is your savior in Chicago with that defense, with Allen Robinson, with David Montgomery, who went absolutely ballistic the end, like the second half of that season.
No,
that's the best you could come up with. You might as well have just run it back with Trubisky. In all honesty, I mean, that was I can't understand Chicago, and we've talked about it all throughout the season. That defense is so good, and it's just going to waste. Why trade for Khalil Mack if you have no foresight to see that you don't have a quarterback? That you think trading for Nick Foles that Jacksonville ran out. Like, he couldn't cut it in Jacksonville, and you're going to take him on. Somehow he's going to be so much better. I mean,
who was there before Trubisky, or did they trade for Mack in the Trubisky era? They did, right? Had to be. It was 4 years ago.
Yeah, this is year 4.
So that's when they traded up for a quarterback after they made the trade. They thought they were getting the quarterback of the future.
They thought
is what they thought. So
yep.
Who's the Cowboys' backup now that the Red Rifle's gone? So Prescott, I'm assuming, is ready to go, but I didn't hear they signed anybody else.
No, it's that Ben DiNucci guy that started the end of the season. He was a rookie last year.
Right.
Yeah.
Dion,
I mean, he must be ready, Jim. Must be.
I guess.
Or he will be.
That's something. But yeah, I agree with Dina that Smith. I mean, he got comeback player of the year. I think he's okay with not being re-signed. I think if nobody calls him, he goes home and plays with his kids, and
right. I mean, he was the first overall pick before they had the rookie pay structure in there. So he got paid. He got paid handsomely. Kansas City paid him well. Washington.
Yeah, I liked him
he made a good amount of money. So that's not. I don't think he's hurting too much for finances. So
no.
Alex, you may be onto something right there, man.
Surprisingly,
but man,
yeah, but yeah, to trade up for him, and that's the thing with the NFL. You trade up for Trubisky and you pass on Watson and Mahomes.
Yeah, boy, that's why. And I mean, Joe, that's why I was saying before, if you could get, and this is before all the stuff with Watson, if you can get a known quarterback, man, get the known quarterback. Don't.
To give the Bears credit, though, I mean, from all reports, they went hard after Russell Wilson.
Oh, they sure did.
Before they went ahead and signed Andy Dalton. So so apparently, and that was one of the teams he wanted to go to. So that's telling you Seattle has absolutely no interest in trading.
Would it cost him $40 million?
Yeah, it's going to cost him. It's going to cost them a lot, but I can't imagine what
next year they can trade him. Next year they can trade him, I think, and not get destroyed by the cap. But this year, I mean, you're not going to trade somebody at a $40 million cap hit. And who's your backup?
But what does that do? So what does that do for Seattle when you're Russell Wilson? You say, I want off this team because I'm tired of getting laid out. Now, I'm going to go back and stand behind these 5 offensive linemen again that I just said can't do their job to protect me. Are they just going to go ahead?
Yeah,
right.
That's right.
Like, what am I going to take a beating for a guy that has no belief in me and isn't supporting me at all? Like, because you see it all the time, like the rushing leaders and stuff like that. Like when somebody has a rushing, they buy all the offensive linemen like Rolexes or cars or something like some kind of gift for taking care of them. And you see the quarterbacks every year do that. Now you have a quarterback coming out saying, "I want a different team because these guys can't do their job."
Yeah.
All right. I mean, that's not good.
That's not good. Let me show you how I can't do my job. Ole, boom.
Yeah.
You want to see somebody not doing their job? I'm going to show you how I don't do my job.
Right. Right. And you'll know.
Talking about gifts, so the Giants was on the news today that Daniel Jones had bought personalized video games, like the Miss Pac-Man arcade games for his linemen. So he got them for Christmas. Apparently, they just got them. It has their name and number across the top. And I'm thinking, that's pretty cool. But like you said, usually it's like a Rolex. I don't know how much those video games cost. But hopefully the linemen see that as, wow, thank you. And not, this is what I get. Miss Pac-Man?
What am I going to do with Miss Pac-Man?
He did something. Yeah, he did something. I think cool.
What is he, 23?
Yeah, he's a young kid, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, what's he into? Video games, you know?
Yep. No, it was pretty cool. They showed a bunch of pictures, guys getting them and posing with them, and so hopefully,
if they must have liked it then.
Yeah, it seems like. I mean, they didn't show the whole line, but the guys that got it, they showed a couple of them, and they were smiling with them. So it was pretty cool.
Plus, I don't think he's not making that much money. Like,
right. I mean, he's
still on his rookie contract. So
right. So it's not like Mahomes is out there buying a Maseratis or something for a thank you.
Derrick Henry just bought his O-line something with $2K on it or something like that, right? For his 2,000 yards rushing.
Oh yeah.
It was just in the news the other day. Whatever it was really nice. Whatever it was, cool. It was really nice. Yeah,
that's cool. Because I mean, those guys are completely unappreciated. And being a guard in the NFL, nobody gives you any love. No. Like you're not the sexy guy. So you might as well. Hey, thanks for taking care of me and making me the sexy guy.
Well, shit, between Tooney and Williams, that's $200 million. I know they'll never see it all, but
no. Yeah. And we should talk about that.
That was
Trent Williams.
Another show.
Oh my God, that contract for a 33-year-old offensive lineman is insane. Insane. The last 2 years of his contract are like 35 and 37 million.
And he'll never see it.
Quarterback money. No, I don't know when. I don't know when the guaranteed money comes off the table. They had to have front loaded it with those type of numbers. But man, that's insane. Like Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be going to him for a loan. I couldn't believe that when I saw those numbers. What was that? 6 for 137, I think it was. Like,
just insane. Hey, good for him. Good for him.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Right.
Good
he held out. He believed in himself, and it paid off. But
took a big chance. He really did. It could have went the other way, like it went for Bell. So I mean,
yep,
smart guy.
Yeah, Bell and Brown.
Yeah,
both did Bells. Yep. And huge news, real quick, on the Jets is we just lost a huge piece from last year.
What?
Brashad Perryman signed a 1-year deal with the Lions.
What? Isn't it the news supposed to be? I don't. So who do you still want? I mean, what do you? I know you want Juju, right? You want to get Juju. He played with Donald years ago, but I mean, who's the guy you want to see tonight, tomorrow, this week? Hey, the Jets got who? Who's the one guy? Is there a guy out there, free agent, that you want on the team that's still available?
I need to look at the list.
Well, so I thought maybe off the top of your head you would say, I'm waiting for this. I'm waiting for this guy.
There's so many guys that have at this point, like I wanted Kenny Golladay the whole time. Juju's okay, but
if he's saying New York, I don't think he means Jets.
No, Galladay's going. He's meeting with the Giants. I don't think.
No, I know. Well, he said he wants to play in New York though, but I think he forgets the Jets are in New York when he says that.
Yeah, I think
because it's Giant Stadium.
So could you imagine going from the Jets to the Lions? I mean, what's the next step? What, grocery guy at the Piggly Wiggly? You know what I mean? It's like that's when you know your life is. Hey, you know what? Kudos to the guy. He's probably making a couple million anyways. But as far as team wise, you go from the Jets to Detroit.
Yeah,
man. It's like breaking out of prison and breaking into another one. You know what I mean?
Breaking out of one jail.
Pretty good.
Yeah, that's
good. Just to break in another one. He was digging so long underneath. And I know, my bad, Alex. Grocery guys kept us going through the COVID. Just saying. But because if you go from making millions then to making $9 an hour, there's a problem with that.
Right.
And, hey, it's noble work. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, you still went from the Jets to the Lions.
Mm-hmm. It's just fun to say Piggly Wiggly.
It is. My dad, I go to Piggly Wiggly whenever I went out to Wisconsin. Hey, I'd work there. I love the place. Yeah. They have the best donut holes in the world.
Yeah, I've been in there in South Carolina.
Love it, man. Love it.
Yeah. So Jim, to answer your question, scrolling through real quick, the two guys I'm still keeping an eye on is Eric Fisher and Mitchell Schwartz. I would like the Jet, and I know Fisher's got the injury, and I don't know when he's going to be back, but he's 30 years old. So I would lock him up. And even if he misses half a season, you still have him for the next couple of years. The offensive lineman, and Mitchell Schwartz had some back injuries, but before that, he'd never missed a game. So those are two awesome offensive linemen that are coming off of teams that know how to win. That brings a nice infectious attitude to the offensive line. You've got Becton, you'd have Fisher, Schwartz there. I mean, those are some nice pieces that you've now built around. So if it's me at this point with all the talent that's gone, reinforce that offensive line, because whether you run it back with Sam or you put a rookie back there, protect him. Just give him time, keep him off the ground, and that's the way to do it. So
that sounds right. And now with Perryman leaving, maybe that does open a hole for Juju, right? Now you got a hole at wide receiver.
Maybe. I don't think they were ever bringing him back. So,
well, it's still
who's their starter next year? Even if they draft a rookie, who's their starter?
For what position?
For quarterback.
If they draft somebody at number 2, that's going to be your starter. It's going to be Zach Wilson.
Wow, you think so?
It has to be. I think.
So wide receiver. Not wide receiver now, Dina. I think they go in O-line now that they signed Fuller.
Yeah, they don't need a wide receiver with Fuller.
But they only signed him for 1 year, so who knows? Maybe they'll go Chase, and then they got him and Parker for a while. But, I mean, Tua needs weapons.
Maybe they trade down with New England.
Oh.
Ooh, we move up to 3 and then draft who? Trey Lance?
You don't have to move up to 3 to draft Lance, though. That's giving up too much. You could probably trade out with.
He'll be there.
You could probably
right,
maybe
like somebody even more starving than a quarterback. I mean, Atlanta's going to go quarterback at 4. So to me, you would have to go move up to 3 to get a quarterback.
I don't know. Everybody keeps saying Atlanta's going to go quarterback at 4, but why? There's not a pressing need for them to do that right now. Like, you don't need to draft.
True.
You don't need to draft your quarterback of the future every time, and you don't know. Matt Ryan could have 5 more years of good play left.
Yeah. Very true.
So why are you? Everybody keeps projecting. Oh, we got to get this. We got to get Matt Ryan's replacement now. Like, no, you don't. Like, give Matt Ryan more weapons. Make that defense better. That just lets people throw all over them. Like, throw Patrick Surtain there instead, and let him start building that defense back up. You know, I don't think
trade the 3 and draft Chase. There we go. I could then quarterback that team. I can quarterback that team and be pretty damn good.
But then you run into the same
out of
issue.
bed in the morning.
Are the Dolphins going to trade that pick to New England and help New England
just
out?
like the Jets wouldn't, right?
Probably not, but it depends how much they wanted that pick, though.
But now on the other side, like, I think the Dolphins do go.
Maybe they go. Do they go quarterback? The Dolphins go quarterback.
Oh, Jim, I like it.
Are they sold on Tua, or they bring in somebody else?
Arizona did it, and it's. I mean, it's not that they've been great, but Kyler Murray's much better than Rosen.
No, but you're not looking at Trevor Lawrence sitting there either.
No, but I mean,
which would be an awesome debate. Could you imagine that debate if Texans won no games and the Dolphins got that pick, and now they're looking at Trevor Lawrence or Tua? What do you do? What do you do?
You trade Tua,
trade somebody, right?
you trade Tua, and you draft Trevor Lawrence. You know,
man. But think about that haul. Dana. What if Tua is your boy, and you get a free pick from the Texans, and you trade out of that and give the rights to Trevor Lawrence to somebody? That's the biggest trade haul in history, without a doubt.
That's why you can't do it, though. You can't pass up on supposedly the next Peyton Manning. You can't, even if it doesn't work out. Joe, just like you said, you take a quarterback. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. You know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and you said it. Arizona did it. They took Rosen after 1 year. They weren't convinced. Kyler Murray sitting there at number 1.
You put Trevor Lawrence on Miami with those weapons and that defense and that somewhat decent team. I mean, a great coaching staff, man. He'd probably thrive from the beginning. You probably see like a Justin Herbert type season.
Right. But you know what? You give him Chase with Fuller and Devontae Parker for Tua. That's got to be hard to fail as well. I mean, and Gesicki down there, that's a good tight end.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And
well, so
who they got for running back though? Who'd they sign? Has Miami signed anybody?
I don't think running backs. No, actually, I think they did. Damn, that's
not through free agency. I don't think
not through free agency, right?
I think so.
Whoever they had last year, right? My Dino will know. I don't know.
Dina should know.
Myles Gaskin is who they. Oh, Malcolm Brown from the Rams. That's
right. Yep. Okay. I remember I saw they just got somebody who he was quietly good.
He was. Malcolm Brown was really good. I thought.
So, he just lost out there to. It was just too crowded of a backfield.
Yeah.
So that was tough. But he looked really good, and they were hyping him up in preseason before Cam Akers.
Yep, Cam Akers exploded. Yeah,
but he was supposed to be the guy in LA. So that could be another great pick that nobody's even looking at. That man, you're selling that Dolphins team off as being in third place a little too early because that draft, and they got 2 first-round picks, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, the question is, is Dina going to be on the show draft night?
Oh, she has to.
I hope
she's the only Dolphins fan we know, right?
Just the only Dolphins fan
Actually,
there is.
I know a couple, but I mean, Dina's the only one that calls and shows up, and she's passionate. Yeah, we need to get her on draft night.
It's either her or Dan Marino, and I don't have his number.
Look,
I only have Brady's.
But me and
she met Marino.
Oh, yes. There we go. Yeah, there we go, Dina. She's breaking through that wall.
The glass ceiling.
Yeah. And Dina, if you want to bring Marino with you, more than welcome. I don't want you to feel pressured to come on solo if or create that weird environment between you two. If he wants to come on, by all means, just shoot me his email and we'll get him some access to the show. Yeah. All right.
Yep.
So with that, going pretty long today.
100 messages. Nice job.
There we go.
Thank you, everybody.
Yes, thank you. That is awesome. Yeah, Miami's going to get much better, and I hate it, but
they got a great coach. They do. They got a great coach down there.
So, Dean, I'm ignoring message 103.
Not being on the show.
We're going to leave.
She could be the first female on the Bean Apple. I mean, think about that.
Yeah,
right.
That's kind of a big deal. Outside of my mom or my wife, cruising through when she was visiting, but.
Yeah, but that was to get some spaghetti and a towel.
Yeah.
Hi, Joe. Just walked right by. That was so funny.
God.
Boy, that's awesome.
You gotta love them.
That is awesome.
So, anyway, so yeah, Dina, we'll definitely have you on for the draft show. You got to give us your evaluation of what's going on. So start doing your homework now on who the Dolphins are possibly going to take and how you feel about it, and we'll break it down live. It's going to
be here before we know it. I mean, so John, I think Joe had said, what's the max? 8 people could be on?
Yep.
So if you know another Dolphins fan too, or 2 of them,
I do.
We should have them queued up to bring on when they're on the clock.
We'll do. We'll do.
The only thing that we'd probably have to do is get rid of the chat window because our boxes would be so small you wouldn't be able to see anybody.
Everybody wears a different color shirt.
Your head.
So anyway, all right. So let's wrap it up with that, and definitely this was definitely fun doing a baseball football combo.
Oh, yeah.
I liked it. So but until then, guys, thank you so much for jumping on. We had an awesome number of viewers tonight. It was great to see. Please, as always, hit that subscribe button. Tell your friends. Like I said, we've been stuck in the 60s now for a while. So we were climbing real quick and then we kind of plateaued a little bit. So please help us get that word out. If you enjoy the show, let your friends know. Bug them as much as I bug you, and we'll hit 100. We'll hit 100 within the month. So that's the goal. So until then, we'll see you guys next week. Please have a safe weekend. Have a great, fun weekend. And John, you want to give one more shout out before we go?
I sure do. Livia, once again, I'm so proud of you, sweetie. I hope you're feeling good tonight, and I will talk to you soon. Love you.